Welcome everybody, eSports Report. Mr. X today, joined by absolutely nobody in studio today. No Ben. Ben has a day off since we're casting some matches on Friday. Puckett, he's blown his nose. He's pretty sick. So just me today. But I am joined via Skype by a special guest, Muddawg. How you doing, brother?
What up, Matt? How are you?
Nothing much, man. So, what have you been up to lately? I know you've been a little bit quiet. What are you trying to do?
Nothing much. Just been focusing on some real life stuff, getting that in order. I might coach for fun, but still gonna figure that out. Probably start streaming a little bit soon, but I'm done playing.
You miss the coaching stuff?
I wouldn't say I miss it. I guess it's more just something fun to do in the off time.
Right. If you were a coach, so to speak, right now, you could put together any roster you wanted, minus the Optic Gaming players. Who you put together.
So Optic Nation is still in this?
Yes.
I'd say definitely Damon, Karma. Renato, Saints
is monster. Yeah.
Monster. Probably take Merc as the OBJ style type of player. And then, to be honest, I'd grab TP. Because I think he's a beast this game. And people think TP and Merc couldn't be on the same team, but both of those guys were Slayers before they were put in the roles they are. The only reason they're not quote-unquote Slayers right now is because they have players attached and Renato surrounding them.
So you take 2 players off the worst team in the league so far?
Yes, I would.
Oh. Very, very interesting. Very interesting.
Who'd you take?
If I can make a team of any 4 people?
Yes.
That are not on Optic Gaming? I would say Karma. You know what? I would probably take Karma and Teat too.
So after all,
I would probably go Saints as well. In that last spot, be up to Clay or Slasher, I think, for me.
Oh yeah, those are 2 good picks too. I mean, it's hard to argue with that.
Right, I think both of those guys would be a great pick. So, let's go through some of the teams that. Let's talk about some of the teams that are forming for champs. I don't know if you've gotten a chance to watch some of these teams. So. Looks like Optic Nation, they're going to be Killa, Karma, Miracles, and Teep. How do you think that's going to work out?
It's really going to depend on how their practice goes, because they obviously have the potential to win. All 4 of them have won a Call of Duty championship before, which I think is something that a lot of people overlook. And, winning COD champs is different than winning any other type of event. Right. And I think those guys have the experience to put together a squad that can compete. But if they screw around in practice and let attitudes get in the way, if someone's not happy, then Damon probably won't be happy.
Yeah.
When Damon isn't happy, he just snipes, and then it's hard to get.
That team scares me in the qualifiers from the standpoint that they get on, they'll play in a 2K, and they'll get, first rounded. And it's just, there's really no way to explain it. It's just kind of, they get up and they just don't really want to play that day. And I think that's kind of a scary situation if you're that team, especially with 2 players playing on West Coast.
The champs qualifier is so intense. I mean, last year, so many top teams almost lost in 3rd round, 4th round. There were so many close games. Plus, you got to deal with booters, which is going to be really hard to beat.
Always dealing with some issues.
Yeah. But yeah, it's really going to be an interesting weekend. I'll be curious to see how many of the guys actually stream it too.
Yeah, I know. We'll be here covering it. Me, Ben, Puckett, just a little rotation of all of us. Next team I want to talk about is Denial. You're pretty good friends with Clay. Clay and Cap get traded from Envy over there to Denial. Right now, at least in my opinion, I'm just going to say it, I think they're the 2nd best team behind Optic Gaming right now. I don't think there's really anybody who
It's really surprising how well they're doing. A lot of these... And I mean, that's why we play the matches, because you look at a team like Optic Nation, they have looked amazing on paper the whole season, and then they keep losing.
You can't even put a reason why they've been losing.
Yeah, I mean, there's dozens of reasons, and plus they lose a lot of maps pretty close. But, I mean, the stuff with, Denial, you look after Orlando, a lot of people were saying that, especially Cap, and then some people were saying Clay wasn't that good at the game, and he was the issue. And then you just surround them with different types of players, and some people succeed. So that's why a lot of times those God Squad rosters don't look good on paper, or that look good on paper don't do well.
Right. I think Clay, I thought, was one of the better players on Envy.
Yeah, I think he's a beast of this game, but I try to avoid talking about him because you said I'm friends with him. I don't want to be pushing him too much. Yeah, he's very good at this game.
Yeah, he's pretty good. And then, going further down the line, Prophecy. looks like it's going to be Fears, Legal, and Perplexed looking for one. Some stuff happened last night. We're going to cover it a little bit more in depth later in the show, but Embo's tweeting out that he thinks he's going to end up getting screwed. FaZe Red looked like they were, going on, playing some games without Aches last night, playing with Ricky. What do you think ends up in that whole situation there?
Well, first of all, I think FaZe getting Ricky is a great move. I mean, obviously, Pat's a good player when he tries. I know some of the FaZe guys were upset with his effort.
Yeah.
But Ricky is one of those guys that you may not think is he might have the superstar, connotation behind him, but he's such a good player, amazing search player, and he communicates really well. And that's something that's really going to come into play come champs, because in a game like this, it's so chaotic. The communication is everything.
Yeah, we were watching some of those FaZe Red games last night, and their communication, Eric, it was not good. It was sad to listen to, when you're playing with some players who just really are not happy. It sounded like none of those guys are happy. You think those players will end up, it seems like, it's one side with Aches and one side with Parasite. It seems like that's kind of where the line in the sand's drawn. You think Enable and Slasher will end up, going with Parasite, or maybe they'll even, try and stay with Aches, or maybe go look for two on their own?
I think that it's going to end up being they're going to stick with Haggy, Parasite, and pick up Ricky, just because, the tournament is in 5 days or whatever.
It's very close.
There's not a lot of time left. And from what I gathered with watching the FaZe streams, it was more of so Aches and Haggy were always fighting, but then Slasher and Enable were kind of together because they were both quiet and not arguing that much until yesterday. And Enable started to rage on them. But I definitely think those guys are going to stay together, because Aggie, while his attitude may be an issue sometimes, he's a beast at the game.
Hey, he's pretty good at this game.
And he at least is getting on. I know, yesterday, Aches didn't show up to their league match until 50 minutes late. No one ever wants to deal with that.
Right. It's definitely an issue I don't think a lot of teams want to deal with. I saw that it was a CTF on Retreat. Parasite played with his mic muted the entire time. Just was not into it at all. It'll be interesting to see what happens with them, throughout the week. We'll touch a little bit more on it later in the show. And then Envy, they make that big trade. They get, Saints and Zuma. Everything starts to look like it's getting a little bit better. And then, this week, it looks like the wheels are starting to fall off a little bit. I can't really figure out what's wrong with this team. They have all the pieces in place. It's just doesn't work.
A lot of it is execution. And a lot of people who haven't played in the league don't realize, even the absolute worst team in any season of the league could still win that day.
Right.
There's so much talent and so much competition in the league that if you make a little mistake here or there, you can lose the series. But I think Envy is one of those teams that when it comes crunch time, they'll be able to, as you said, they have those pieces. I think they'll be able to mesh together and get the job done.
They're a team that I kind of look at Optic Gaming from last year. Going into champs, they didn't look good at all, never played good at all. And then they come out and they perform extremely well. I think that'll kind of be how Envy goes this year. I think, we won't see them play phenomenal at all, really, up and down until champs. And then I think they'll have a very good champs. Merc and Nameless, two of the better, big time players. And Zuma in his first champs. I know you played at champs. I played at champs. It's a different feel. It's a much bigger stage than I think anything he's dealt with so far.
Yeah, definitely. So it'll be interesting to see how he kind of reacts to that pressure, because, like you said, can't really explain unless you've been there, but it's a different environment and completely different feel. So we'll see how he can adjust there. But I think with a player like Merc around him, Merc's one of those players, he sucks online, but when he gets to LAN, when he gets to tournament play, that's where he shines, and he's got that leadership and maturity to, I think, he'll be able to help Zuma through that.
Right, Joe is one of the best veterans in all Call of Duty. Just a phenomenal player, especially at LAN. Further down, TK, struggled for a bit, moved into the house, started to play a bit better. I don't know, judging on their ceiling, are they good enough to win COD champs? I don't know, but I definitely think they can contend. It's tough, right? Because
they could definitely contend. I could definitely see them placing top 4.
Yes, 100%.
I love the TK guys. I don't think that they'll win champs. I but I definitely think they could be in that top 4 contention. You know, they have a lot of talent, they have potential, and especially Looney and Goon are two really explosive players. So I think that they'll be able to, you know, provide that spark where they can just kind of win. Sorry, my phone went off there. Where
People
they
call
can,
Muddawg trying to get him to coach.
can pull out some of those matches that they're not expected to, because if you have someone like a Looney or a Goon who drops a random 46
Right.
a hard point, you know,
That always helps.
They can steal a map there. And when you have an explosive player like a Looney or a Zumo or a Renato, you know, anything can happen. And
What
I mean,
shocks me the most, Eric, about
Optic,
TK is their search and destroy. It's been their backbone on Black Ops 2. It's been their backbone on Ghosts. They're rock solid, you know, pretty much guarantee win game mode.
I was surprised
They can't win searches.
because when I first started playing Call of Duty, I would always play with Theory, and he's a really, really strong search player. Sharp's obviously always been known as one. It's not like Looney and Goon are bad at search by any means. Again, you know, it'll be interesting come champs time because even like especially search, I think that's the game type that changes most on LAN, online for anything. It'd be interesting if they can put those pieces together. You know, they better be utilizing that team house. They're all in there together, so.
Absolutely. They played the most Game 5s so far in the COD League. 18 Game 5s.
Wow.
That's a huge number. Bryce, good friend Pac-Man over there, struggling a little bit in the league. They're right on that border. You know, them and Justice. We'll talk a little bit more about scenarios later. But they're right on that border to qualify or not. 1, do you think they get in? 2, what do you think about their, you know, chances going forward at champs? I think Pac-Man's been playing a lot better lately.
Yeah, he has, and I'm actually, you know, I'd be the last one to give him any credit, but he has been playing well. He was at my house for a few weeks, and I actually, you know, got to sit down and watch from his point of view. I think with that team, I think they will get in the league. I think they'll be in the 8th spot. A lot of it is going to come down to how they start matches, because I love Chino, but he's a younger player, and if things start going wrong, he doesn't necessarily become the best teammate. So I think it's really going to, you know, those first 2 maps, how are they doing? Because if they're down 0-2 and people start complaining, I think they'll really struggle there.
I think they'll definitely, I 100% agree with you there. Going at champs, they'll be using Miyagi in place of Chino. How much of a drop-off you think it is?
Completely forgot about that.
Yeah, how much drop-off you think it is from Chino to Miyagi?
So they both have different strengths and weaknesses. Chino's more explosive and can drop numbers, which Miyagi certainly can. I think Miyagi is a little more on the inconsistent side.
Yeah.
You know, have those games where he drops 47. They don't have the games where he is 27. But he really has matured a lot as a player since I first teamed with him. And I really think they're going to do well with Miyagi. He's one of those guys that pressure doesn't get to him. He likes it better. And, you know, champs, it's 100 times the pressure of anything else. So I think he'll be able to rise to the occasion.
Right. I think, you know, them and AR are kind of in the same boat, you know, sitting in that, you know, 9 and 10 slot, really. You know, the only 2 teams that can come out from that bottom 4 qualify. Optic Nation eliminated already last night. We'll talk some more about that. Then Elevate, they're still technically alive, but they would need a lot of help to get in. 2 teams that we can kind of talk about in one little sit down. Justice and FaZe Black. So if you guys are just, you know, finding out, FaZe Black is going to be Proof, Study, Sensor, and Apathy. And then Justice, you know, it's just Mochilla and Classic right now. Looking for 2. 1, I can't figure out why nobody would want to play with Mochilla and Classic, because, you know, they've been some of the most consistent players in the league and tournaments. And then 2, you know, what's your feel on FaZe Black? How do you think they're going to do? I think it's a team that, you know, doesn't have that star player quality, but I feel like they all get along and they're all pretty comfortable in, you know, that role with their team.
Yeah, I actually think FaZe Black is going to be one of like the quote unquote underdogs going into champs, but I think they're going to get top 6 at least. I think they're going to surprise some people. You know, again, it's players from Optic Nation. People are saying, you know, Proof's the issue, blah blah blah, and then you put them in a different environment, it does well. Those guys all have the experience, so I think that we're going to see some good things out of them. In terms of Justice with Classic and Mochilla, you know, sometimes I wouldn't even necessarily say it's people don't want to play with them. Just people see opportunities, they take it, and then stuff happens.
Yeah, I would expect, you know, those 2 to try and
will end up with them.
link up with Bose, yeah.
And I don't know who they pick up as a 4th.
Right, yeah, they're 4th. That would be somebody they would have to find. And then, nope. I'll leave you off with 2 questions here, Muddawg. 1, barring if Optic Gaming wasn't allowed at champs, who would you pick to win the entire thing right now today? Looking at it.
Right now, today, that's a tough one.
It's a tough one, right?
Probably pick. I wish TJ Haley was there. I just pick TJ Haley to win the whole thing.
Dude.
But since he's not, I'd say let's go Denial. Like you said, I think they are playing the second best, as the second best team in the game right now, which is quite an accomplishment considering Optic's there. It's basically like being in first.
Right. Yeah, I would say for me it comes down to Denial and then Envy. Even though we haven't seen great things about Envy.
Envy was the other team I was deciding between, just because, people don't talk about Saints Renato enough. He is an absolute monster. Right. And he's another one of those players who communicates really well in game, and he's a great Search player. And especially at Call of Duty Champs, you see the whole cliche of Search wins championships.
Absolutely. Saints, one of the best players on Ghost. He's the only player to finish with a positive KD throughout the entire year on all the events. And then, a little bit of a weird question. Last year we saw Curse Las Vegas didn't qualify for champs. Do we see a team like that this year from North America?
Based off of the odds, I would say most likely one of them's bound to not qualify. But the way the process is this year with 14 U.S. teams and 24 U.S. teams and 14 going, I just don't. There certainly could be an upset, but I don't see, as of right now, any Canadian or Mexican teams that are going to be able to take a series from them.
Right.
But again, crazy things happen at champs, and I was in the same boat going into regionals last year where we weren't supposed to win a map. So there's always those teams that, even though you don't expect them to do anything, I feel like one's going to surprise someone.
I figure, there's got to be at least, one or two upsets in there. The 12 league teams, and then pretty much you figure two more teams. Got a bunch of good teams out there. TR, Strictly Business. A lot of them are going to be coming out ready to try and make champs. But Muddawg, thank you for joining us today on the ESR.
Thank you for having me, guys.
You streaming lately or not?
I haven't been, but I'm going to start soon. Now that I'm not playing, I'm going to focus on the YouTube and streaming a little bit more.
Nice. Where can they find all that stuff? These nice people.
Find me at MLGTV/Muddawg, or my Twitter handle is @EricMuddawg. So follow me, sub, like, all that good stuff that everyone says at the end of their YouTube videos.
Yeah, all that good stuff. All right, thanks for joining us, Muddawg. And right after this quick commercial break, we're going to have a recap of last night's league matches, so stay tuned.